floor is yours.
Okay, so it has been 249 days since our last national quarantine. That seems crazy, right? For me, it feels like it was only a few weeks ago I was drinking whipped coffee, watching Tiger King, and just got back from that second family walk of that day. It's crazy to think about how life was before all of this COVID mess. Now, wherever we go, we have this new accessory around our face called a mask. Everywhere we go, masks are sold. And Etsy, which is a site where homemade things are sold, made $346 million off of masks alone during the pandemic. Mandates are in place, and we are recommended to wear masks wherever we go. Look at all of us. We're wearing masks, as we should be. The spread of COVID is still occurring, obviously, right now. I wrote this speech before the second lockdown has come into play, so this is really relevant. COVID is spiking in many areas, so in order to slow the spread, we have to wear masks. Why? We should wear masks to keep ourselves safe and our loved ones well. This virus is deadly, and it can affect you no matter what your age is. Masks both protect you from catching the virus and spreading the virus. They reduce the viral transmission because it blocks the respiratory droplets that spread COVID. Percra, I'm butchering the name, but is an allergist that studies at the Department of Medicine at NYU Grossman School of Medicine. She states that surgical masks and cloth masks can reduce viral transmission by 70% if everyone wears them correctly over their mouth and nose. Masks are a barrier of protection, or as CDC terms it, source control. A very important aspect I do want to mention is asymptomatic spread. Some people who are diagnosed with COVID don't experience any symptoms. We could have COVID without even knowing it. And this is actually really true. Like I said, my best friend, haven't seen her in a little bit, so no worries. She has COVID, but she feels 100% like herself right now. No symptoms at all, so it's real. According to the CDC, an estimated of 50% of transmission happens before any symptoms occur. So even if you don't feel sick or don't think you're sick, a mask is still necessary during the pandemic because you could be spreading it or exposed to it asymptomatically. So this slide just shows how the left side is the COVID carrier and the right side is a healthy person. As you can see, if both people wear a mask, the risk of spreading is low, but if one of the two wear a mask, the spread gets higher, the risk gets higher. And like I said, you don't technically know if you're on the healthy person side unless you have a test. So you could really be on this side and thinking you're on the other side, and obviously this risk is moderately high if a COVID carrier doesn't wear a mask. So it's best bet everybody wears a mask. And this is what actually is happening. As I said, CDC termed it source control. You're protecting all those germs that you are spreading. You can go next slide.
Maybe. Keep going.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We all miss concerts and sporting events. In some way or another, COVID has taken something from us. I know I have said, and I've heard many people say, I just can't wait for things to get back to normal again. Well, things are not going to get back to normal if we just sit around and wait. We must take action. Researchers predicted that 80% of the population wearing masks would do more to reduce COVID-19 than the COVID-19 spread than a strict lockdown. So taking action isn't necessarily locking everything down again. Taking action can be just wearing a mask when you're in public. Now we know the reasons why we should wear a mask. What kind of mask is best? These are the common masks we see. The N95 mask really is not needed for that average person. It's really needed for those healthcare workers that are working frontline with COVID. Surgical masks should be safe for professionals, but surgical masks and DIY masks are perfect for the average person. However, they should only be used as a single use. So after one use of a surgical mask, you should dispose it and clean your masks every day. I know that's what I do. I just throw it in with my laundry. The only people that should not really wear a mask is children under 2, people with really, really bad severe breathing problems, and anyone who is unconscious. Now, for masks to be effective, they should fit snug around both your mask, or mouth and nose. Okay, next slide. Masks are just one of the ways we can be safe during the pandemic. Obviously, hand washing, disinfecting, social distancing are important. However, masks should be worn with them. Now, this all might be a no-brainer to you. You might be a strong mask wearer, but there's always someone that isn't. So if you didn't need this information, somebody else will. So use what you learned, use those diagrams to show people that are anti-mask of why we should keep wearing masks. It's really important for us to spread this awareness because even though we think it might be common sense, a lot of people don't. So we just want to get back to normal. Wearing masks is not a political issue, it's a health issue. And we need to stay safe during this pandemic. Stay strong, stay persistent, and wear a mask.
Yeah.